Good morning. On this bowl of Question Crunch, the amazing artist Priscilla is here to answer questions about being an artist alley at San Diego Comic Con next week, her love of cars, and the origin story of her stash.
Okay, before we go, I want to mention that it's so nuts that we have the same birthday. I did not expect that
We
out of
do?
all the. Yeah, we talked about this on the. Well, okay, you know what? Leave this in the podcast. I want to leave this conversation in the podcast.
I mean, we're still
Because,
recording right now. You can always, cut and paste, right?
Oh, we're not cut and pasting this. We're not cut and pasting this. I like this. So when we were on at the table, we had been talking about similarities and liking horn, liking antlers because we're both Aries, liking
I
wings.
see where you're going with that.
Yeah, and then when I was scrolling through your Instagram, I saw like you talking about a birthday celebration, and it said your birthday. I'm not gonna. I mean, on my Facebook, it's available my birthday, but when I saw the day, I was like, wait a minute, that's my birthday as well.
Wait, is it a secret? Are we not saying what our birthday is?
I mean, I'm just making sure that you're okay with saying it. I'm okay with saying it.
I mean, I like free gifts on my birthday, so.
All right, well, you'll get free gifts on tax day then.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's still a code. We're speaking in code still.
Well, I think every adult, if you say tax day, they know what you're talking about.
No, actually, no. People still don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe my friends suck.
I mean, do they have jobs? Do they maybe they don't pay taxes? I don't know.
All right, that is confidential. Now we're crossing a line.
They did not consent to let Zoom and IRS know their tax status. How dare me? Okay, so you are another person that I met and made a new friend at San Diego Comic Fest, because every podcast, a lot of podcasts, whenever I talk about Comic Fest, I mention that I always come away with new friends. And you are one of them. You were sitting next to me. You were my neighbor at Comic Fest, and your art is absolutely fantastic. I'm always amazed to see what you come up with. And I mentioned it when we were at the show, that what I think is really amazing is the combination of sharp and spiky edges, but really soft and soothing and relaxing colors. And I've seen people try to make spikes softer, but your combination doesn't look like you're trying to make the spikes softer. The spikes are still spiky, it's still sharp, it's still very dangerous, but there's a relaxing element to it that I think is just I don't want to say hypnotizing, but it feels kind of hypnotizing. I just love looking at your artwork. So that being said, what is your art history?
Oh, right. I know. I was like, now I got to get my little script out. No, so art history. Well, so I guess it's kind of one of those things, like my grandma was an artist. So, I mean, she had the gift. So if we're talking about like art history, like my background, that's what you're asking, right?
I mean, anything, any kind of play, any kind of thing that led you to where you are now.
Yeah. So my grandma, pretty much, she was the ultimate, like, legacy inspiration. And I always wanted to be like as good as her. And like ever since I was a little kid and could hold a crayon, I was coloring in the lines. I don't know if that's, I was like, I don't know about your history. I don't think we talked about yours, but yeah, so pretty much started there as a little kid. And then obviously in school, I took some like art classes in high school. And I actually really thought I couldn't paint. Surprisingly, right? Hey. They, how they make you use acrylics. So I really suck with acrylics. Well, actually, I haven't tried it now, but I was like, oh, I really suck. Like it never blended quite right. It just dries really fast. So I was a kid and I was like, well, I guess I can't paint. And I can just draw really well. And then I took a class in college because I mean, I was actually trying to be a veterinarian. So I was trying to be a doctor, but then I was still taking some art classes on the side because that's actually what I really love to do. Yeah, my teacher, her name was Sue Daw, and she actually does the Comic-Con. She was at a panel at the November one this last November. But yeah, I have her to thank because she forced us all to use oils, and I made like 3 masterpieces in that class, and she was like, "This is the first time you're ever using oils," and I was like, "Yeah, I guess I can paint." So like it all stemmed from there and kind of took off. I taught myself Photoshop because I want to get into the video game industry or concept art for film. So we'll see, moving up that way. Yeah, that's pretty much the art history. The journey continues. I'm talking to you, Jimmy.
I like it that the younger you was like, I guess I can't paint. And the older you was like, shut up. I can paint. Like,
I can't. I was like, hey.
In your face, younger me.
Yeah, past Priscilla was wrong.
I'm glad that it was you that decided that you can't paint, because I was really worried for a second that it was some teacher that said, yeah, maybe you should be a veterinarian.
No, well, I mean, that was my parents. They were really sad finding out that I didn't want to be a vet anymore. I was like, I want to be a rock and roll, star. No, like I was like, I want to be an artist. But my dad's always wanted me to. He always knew I was like everybody else knew I was really good at art. Like I guess I was just blind to my own. We're our worst critic, so just kind of.
I can understand your parents being like, oh, you want to go into art versus being a doctor. Okay.
Oh, everyone was so stoked. They're like, my daughter's gonna be a doctor, and then I was like, artist. And so and then they were like, when are you moving out? It's been a long journey. It's definitely been lots of tears too, but I mean, it's more smiles nowadays, so hopefully it stays that way.
And like I said, your art is amazing, and I think we've also had this conversation while at Comic Fest. But the question I'm going to ask is, what inspires your art? And I know that you were talking xenomorphs, which is understandable.
I have a book sitting right next to me from the AVP.
A xenomorph book?
It's an AVP, like the art from the film.
Yeah.
I literally have a book sitting here with that.
Okay, so I guessed right. I didn't guess right. You told me at the show.
Yeah. Don't worry, I have ADD as well. I think I forgot some of our combos.
And then I mentioned that there is one painting of yours that I said it made me think it was a UFO doing an abduction, and you're like, nope. I felt like I was being psychoanalyzed when you're like, no, it's not. Why do you think it is? Like,
I kind of do. I love psychology, so I kind of was.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
I don't judge. I'm just curious.
There's a light source. There's a glowing light source, and like a body like doing, floating towards it. That's what I thought.
No, you were the first person to say that, so I thought it was a different perspective. I wanted it. Remember, I'm still a scientist in the back. I still have that science background.
I was the only one who thought UFO. What did everyone else think it? Well,
it's actually surprising because I have a lot of nerd friends too, and I was like, oh, like yeah, it does kind of look like that actually, but wrong, Jimmy.
Well, what is it? I mean, no, I'm going to go back to
okay, you know what?
What inspires your art? Is it the light source? Is it the forms that you're drawing, or what what's the start?
I really love contrast. So like a lot of my art, as you've noticed, it's a lot of that like good versus evil, or like, the black and white. Just so I guess, yeah, light sources, because I like to do the shadow, shadow self or versus the light. So yeah, I guess it's a little bit of all of it. Because I feel like that is like the universe is balance. And so I like to bring that like just science, also like spirituality. So it's kind of like a weird, like it's a balance. It's all connected. So I don't know. I try and express that in the art heavily with the contrast. Kind of like what you were saying, like the like creepy but beautiful. So I have like a weird obsession with it, I guess.
It makes sense because I feel like a lot of the dark objects that are in your art can only really the light that hits it is how you see it. It comes out with the light. Like your the xenomorph queen, where it's just a bunch of light that's hitting the exterior shell, I guess. I think it's an exoskeleton, right?
The creature itself, you're talking about xenomorphs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the yeah, exactly. An exoskeleton.
I'm just realizing that I didn't know if it was an exoskeleton or not because on Predator they have a xenomorph skull, and if it has a skull, I don't think it has an exoskeleton, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Hold on, I'm trying to remember which movie that was. Are you sure? Well, that was
Predator 2.
Predator 2.
In Predator 2, the Predator has a xenomorph skull in the ship.
Wait, Predator 2. Hold on, wait, Predator 2 was the movie like that really sucked. Are you talking about Predators or I'm like, I don't know this like hold on, I don't want to be wrong now, but
That's
I'm
okay. No. But it might be the one that sucked. I don't know. Because like that's the one with Danny Glover in the city, where it's a gang war and it was a silly gang war and all the cops had really
because it's the urban jungle or like the yeah. I haven't seen that one in like that was the one my dad was like, don't watch it, it sucks. So I never saw it until like actually more recently.
I watched
and I was
it
like, he was right. I shouldn't have watched that.
The first time I watched it was yesterday on Hulu, and I'm like, oh, this is bad.
See, okay, why are we bringing it up then? Just can that.
I mean, there's some good stuff, but I feel like that movie was pretty racist, and I can understand why if some person in the Midwest watches it and is like, oh man, LA is dangerous.
I mean, there's bad parts to every place. We're getting like political now. What's going on here, Jimmy?
There's bad parts, but not like in Predator 2.
I don't remember, honestly, so I'm gonna sneak my way out of this conversation.
Well, we got on the conversation because I was talking about the skeletons and xenomorphs. I didn't know if they have an exoskeleton or if they actually have
maybe I think it answered it. The movie was just all wrong anyway, so
that is a valid point. That is a very valid point. But yeah, we talked about the inspiration for art, and I love your drawings of horns. How do you pick a horn to draw?
How do I pick one?
Yeah, like because like you can pick a ram's horn where it curls. You can pick a horn that goes upward.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like I don't know if I told you this, Jimmy, because it is kind of creepy and we had just met. But I have like a taxidermy collection and like animal skulls. So I don't know. I actually a lot of the ones I have horns. It's like I don't know. Oh, you can't see it. There's a bull skull behind me, like hanging over here.
I have quite a few friends with animal skulls with antlers. So if you did tell me about it, it didn't really shock me. So
yeah, I don't know. There's like a beauty in it. So I mean, I guess I'm not really sure like how I guess if it's more curly, that's obvious. In my mind, it's a little more like feminine. So like something that's just like a straight edge or something would be a little more aggressive. I guess you know how you're an artist.
No, that makes sense.
So, like,
I mean, when you talk about like when you talk about the different shapes between feminine and masculine, masculine usually have like a bigger bulk, and so that makes sense with the antler because if it's a curly antler, a lot of times it's going to be a lot thinner. A ram's horn, I would think, being like it's only got like that one curl. I think that would be like the Thanos type.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's kind of yeah.
I just always like talking about horns because I draw a lot of horns, and I like to think of the 'Cause not even how it curls, but how it has that weird kind of shape in the middle of the horn. And I love playing with that shape and trying to figure out how the light works and how.
Are you talking about like the ridges in the horn?
Yes.
Okay, like yeah, because I'm like I have a that has like ridges in it. Like you said, it's kind of fun to play with those shadows and like create wrinkles with the, as you're painting.
Inside to make sure people know that.
As you can tell with my little the Pan's Labyrinth fawn. I had fun with doing the horns on that one.
What is your, Pan could be it, but what is your favorite character with horns or antlers?
That was it. I have him showcased.
You had it ready for that question.
Oh, you will, yeah, because it's funny. Yeah, hands down. When I read that question, I was like, oh yeah, hands down, the fawn from Pan's Labyrinth, because he's just so like you don't know, like he's supposed to be this again, that contrast of like he's good, but is he good? And then I like to play with that. So I did do a creepy, cute version of him because he is pretty creepy in the movie, which is awesome.
And that's a damn good answer. I just when I wrote that question, I had a hard time deciding who's my favorite character with horns or antlers. I like more characters with horns rather than antlers. Antlers are cool, don't get me wrong. I love the Sweet Tooth show on Netflix, but I know so many characters with horns. And I want to say that my favorite character with horns is the Horn King from Disney's Black Cauldron. But then you got Tim Curry's horns in Legend.
I don't know if No, I'm not nerd enough. What's that?
But you might not know Legend, but you do know the character. It's the Tim Curry played like this devil character with the gigantic bull horns.
Oh, okay, hold on. Well, I'm thinking of Hellboy with the giant when he's like in hell. Is it kind of like that?
And Hellboy's horns look great too. No, these ones are massive. These ones are almost as big as his bicep. Like it's gigantic horns that go out and then kind of like have, the tuning fork look that bull horns sometimes have.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know. Is this a thing? I guess this is a thing.
Legend?
No, a horny obsession.
Oh yes, I'm very horny for horns. That's a fact. It's on my Tinder profile that I love horns.
How's that going, Jimmy?
Not so good. The pandemic kind of really.
I had a feeling.
And then have you seen the Black Cauldron? Because the Black Cauldron is pretty. That's a dark Disney movie.
I have, but it actually was a long time ago, like in elementary school. But I don't know why they were playing that, but I don't really remember. I just remember it being kind of weird and creepy.
That would not be a movie I would recommend for kids to watch. I did.
That's why I was like, I don't know why that was playing, but it was
not at school. I mean, when I was a kid, I watched a lot of creepy stuff, but not at school.
It was an after school program, so I mean, our parents didn't care about us after 6 p.m. or whatever it was, or what was it, 2 p.m. You know what I mean?
I mean, they probably saw Disney and thought it was cool for kids, even though there's a lot of really.
Yeah, the counselors are like, "Here, kids, just leave us alone."
Because there's also another dark movie that I always love to talk about, and it's Return to Oz, and that also is done by Disney. It's on Disney Plus, but that one is a dark. It's a very creepy. Have you seen Return to Oz?
No, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Gotcha. For instance, if Dorothy came back and she's in a Midwest state, what is that? Kansas, right? She's from Kansas? Okay, cool. Just had to make sure. I couldn't remember exactly where she is. Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore. That's it. Okay, cool.
It's my mom's favorite movie, so I mean.
If a kid came back from Oz in that period of time and started talking about talking scarecrows, talking tin men, talking lions, what would they do to her?
Oh God. Well, I mean, I have a dark like mind as well. So
Yeah, but what would they do? Don't be so dark. What would they do? And they think that it's okay if that would help her.
wait. Hold on, wait. Say it one more time.
Okay, if a kid came to her Auntie M and said, "Hey, I just defeated a witch in Oz, and I fought her with a talking lion, a cowardly lion, a brainless scarecrow."
Oh, instant insane asylum, of course.
Correct. And what would they do in this insane asylum?
Oh no. Where I don't know. Wait, I don't know. You tell me.
Electric shock therapy.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, like some sort of tank, like, you know, deprivation, and then like
and that's how this movie starts.
Dark places right now.
But that's how this movie starts.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah, it's done by
So
Disney.
I'm gonna watch that after we're done here.
I think I will too, because I've been talking about it a lot lately. Because
wait, you haven't seen it?
What?
You haven't watched it?
Oh, I watch it a lot.
Okay. I was like, how are you describing it? If you okay.
There's a character called TikTok, and every time anyone talks about TikTok, I think about that character, not the app.
Oh, great.
But I highly recommend watching this movie.
I already hate time so much, so now I'm gonna have TikTok, like, you know.
Well, TikTok in Return to Oz is a robot, so he has nothing to do with time. Well, I guess he does have time because he's a wind-up robot. So if you don't wind him up, he will stop. Yeah.
So see, again, clocks, time. I don't like this.
But I think you'll like the Wheelers.
What's that?
It's on the same movie. I don't want to tell you what the Wheelers are. I want that to be a surprise. I want you to be freaked out by Wheelers just right off the bat.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm probably gonna watch that tonight because it's been fresh in my mind. I was talking about it on a recent Zoom, and that's probably why I bring it up now. But you are also really into cars, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
What got you into cars?
Good question.
I was really worried you're going to answer me with a dad joke if I said what got you into cars. And you're like, a door.
Oh God, no, that's you.
Yeah, right?
You know what? I forgot. That was all you. The entire Comic Fest.
Oh, listeners don't know. I gave a thumbs up.
So probably my dad got me into cars because we were kind of tomboys, me and my sister. I'm like, the voice in my head, and my sister and I, we grew up playing Hot Wheels and doing like Legos, and we wanted to be cool because like we looked up to our dad a lot, and he was always talking to, being cool is what we wanted to do, not like be girly girls. So like we were playing, like, he taught us sports, and we were always doing, the little Hot Wheels, and we always I really fell in love with like the aesthetic, like exotic little Hot Wheels. Like, so I always wanted mine, like just one color, like the metallic, like one color, like the really exotic ones, like the Lamborghinis and all those. Or like, I think they would come in like silver, metallic gray. That's my favorite color, is gray. So I had a collection of like silver, like exotic cars. I don't know, maybe it was my OCD as well. It was probably shiny. My sister loved the crazy, like weird looking, and I was like, oh, that's like ugly. Like it looks like a toy. Like I want the actual car. So it kind of started there. And then, fast forward, I ended up getting into the car scene because of my first car in high school it's a 240 SX. I don't know if you know what that is.
I have no idea. You can just, I don't know car jargon, so you can feel free to make something up, and I'll be like, okay.
Okay, well, here's some car jargon. It's a shit box.
Cool.
No, it's like a little drift car, a Nissan, like little. It's cool, but anyway, basically, it's like a little go-kart, but it actually is worth something like now. So that's kind of cool that I still have it. Like I held on to it. Yeah, no, it was a piece of crap when I got it, and I ended up fixing it up. And you're yawning now because we're talking about cars.
No, I'm yawning. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. This is the third interview. This has been a long day. But no, it's not the cars.
Oh, rude. And you yawn on mine? Okay, disrespectful. I was like, I put eyeshadow on for you, Jimmy.
So did I. No, I'm back asleep. No.
No, so anyway, yeah, I'm into cars. I go to car shows, like car meets, to make a long story longer. So I really love doing photography and going to these inspiring car meets and seeing all the exotic cars, and I like to draw them or paint them. So I'm I've done some pretty cool big canvas commissions for people, so that's kind of rad.
And they are really amazing. Like in the previous episode of the podcast, me and the artist Sammy were talking about how drawing cars is frustrating. I hate drawing cars, and so when I see your cars, it's absolutely remarkable how true to the cars you draw it.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, because again, it's like contrast, right? So I love doing that, those dark shadows, and then the really bright pop of white highlights, because it's just makes it look really glossy, and I love that. Because it's I'm a car enthusiast, so when I see a really clean, freshly waxed car, it's just ooh, it's wet. So that's a term, okay? Car enthusiasts, they know what I'm talking about.
Whatever you say.
We do the look back. When you're walking away from your car, you always do the look back, and you're like, yeah, that's my car. There's a lot of passion in it, so I think it kind of translates into, I try and put that into other people's car paintings that I do for them, because I have a passion for all cars, because I love to drive. I don't just draw them, I like to drive fast. Yeah, I think I like to, when I see someone's car and I want to paint it for them, I want to capture everything I know about, I know they're, you know what I mean? I just like to, I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, I kind of know what you mean, because I do know art when I get commissions, and I want to be able to, if someone hires me to draw a family memory, I can do that. I want as many details as I possibly can. What I don't understand is when it comes to cars, because I definitely don't care how my car looks like.
I don't know. I guess I just imagine myself in the driver's seat. And so then I put that passion, because I know the feeling of when you're going into the gears, and just that connection of the road and the actual vehicle. And so I like to really capture that motion, kind of the motion in the car, even though it's just a car sitting there.
Well, the kind of energy, what's it called? I think it's not kinetic. It's potential energy. Just the idea of this car, once it starts driving, will drive fast.
Yeah, so I like to, so I did a Corvette for one of my buddies, and I think I kind of captured that, because it's just those straight angles, but also just very, I don't know. It's hard to explain this. But yeah, I put the driving passion into the actual car aesthetic. So I like to give it life, I guess. I try and do that with I have a fetish for eyes. So I do that with my creatures. A lot of the creepy creatures don't have eyes, and that's on purpose, because I have such a, the window of the soul. So when I do pet portraits for people, I really love to capture the depth in the, creature's eyes. So that's kind of one of my things.
I like it that you just started with, I love drawing eyes with lots of life, except when I don't. When they don't have eyes, I don't have
No, but it's on purpose. It's symbolic, because it's a lot of I like to show that we can see so much without our eyes as well. So that's, because we're so heavily reliant on our eyes in this world, but everything technically is an illusion if you look at it scientifically as well. Everything we look at is the past. because the light, the time it takes the light to reflect off of things, by the time it reaches our eyes, it's already the past. So like literally like everything we look at is the past, an illusion. So I love sci-fis, The Matrix, all that. I'm a nerd.
That's really funny because I think that we also had this conversation in the previous episode of the podcast without any prompt that all light that we see is from the past.
Thank you. When you look at the stars, it's probably an exploded star that, and it's by the time it's reaching us, they're already gone. So it's like they had a good run. You know what I'm saying?
I love it when on Facebook, whenever anyone says anything encouraging about stars, I'm like, yeah, but they're already dead probably by the time that we can appreciate it.
They had a good run. That's gonna be us somewhere to some point in the universe.
Well, because like everyone's like, oh, you know, it could shine bright like a star, and I'm like, yeah, but they're not they're not around anymore.
I think that's why we got along, though. We have the dark side as well.
I can see
that.
that.
I say that too about shining bright, but I'm like also, you know, death.
But I think that you're more optimistic because I just I don't like motivational speakers for some weird reason. Don't psychoanalyze that. I don't like. I just whenever I see something that's overly motivational, I feel compelled to pop it.
Break them down.
Stop.
You're a bully.
I am totally a bully. Online,
I know. At least, but you are like, you know, you, what is it called? You, it has been a long day.
It has been a long day. But I tell people that I'm mostly a bully of bullies. That's usually when I'm bullying. But then someone's like,
you fully embraced it. That's what I was trying to say.
I could dig that. If you made a movie, if you made a Cars movie, like the Pixar Cars, what kind of car would be the main character and who would play them?
Yeah, this was a confusing question. I was like, where is he going with this? So like, you're going to repeat that you said I'm really gorgeous.
I'll say you're gorgeous anytime. But if you made a Cars movie, what kind of car would be the main character and who would play them?
Okay, yeah. So I was trying to say, that was kind of confusing. So you're talking about like the Disney movie Cars?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, I kind of just thought like my favorite car, which is a McLaren P1, the race car. So I don't know, I guess like a super exotic race car, that would be kind of cool.
And who would play them?
Okay, that part I was like, I don't know. I guess the voiceover would have to be Chris Hemsworth because he's just like a god.
That's a pretty good answer though. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, I know. I have a huge crush. My dog's named after him. So.
What's your dog's name?
Mr. Hemsworth.
Okay, all right. So he is in the 2016 Ghostbusters movie, and it's one of my favorite scenes where he's like, where his dog's name is Mike Hat.
I don't get it.
Well, it's supposed to sound like Mike Cat, but it's Mike Hat.
Okay, that's what I thought, but it sounded like another Jimmy dad joke. So
I wish I could take credit for this, but this is definitely all Hemsworth because like he did a lot of jokes in that movie that I thought were part of the script, but it was just him improvising, and he's pretty fucking funny.
Wait, so I'm gonna have to watch that movie then.
A lot of people said it was bad, so you shouldn't take my word on it because I'm a big Ghostbuster fan. They can do no wrong in my eyes, and I think that's problematic. I think that's bad because I'll just give them more money.
We're ready for the next question then. I know. I was like, okay, not gonna watch that one.
I like it that you weren't even going to you weren't going to argue with me like, oh no, Jimmy, you should have more integrity than that. You should only watch good things. I'm like, nope. I'll watch anything, good or bad. The bad movies, I'll wait till it's streaming to watch. But I'll watch it. If it shows up on my streaming service and I'm bored enough, I will watch really shitty films.
To each their own. I don't know, no comment.
Well, what was the last like shitty film that you've seen?
That's actually, I really don't watch much TV. Like, I don't have a TV in my place. Uh, so I don't know. It's been a
I think that's
while.
healthier.
It's funny. I literally was talking about this a few days ago where I was like, I think I'm gonna buy a TV because I'm getting a little insane with my like over creativity. Like, it's going a little too far out there. So I'm like, whoa, bring it back. Need to veg out for a second.
I do think that taking a break and just enjoying just content coming at you is a good thing. I know people have always said, vegging out is unhealthy. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. Taking a break is a good thing.
I think it's time because I'm definitely getting a little like out there with the art. That's all I have time for right now. So I'm just like, yeah, TV. It's good for you.
What conventions have you exhibited at?
Uh, yes. So actually, this journey has only been like pretty recent. So it was SD Rocket Con. When was that? Like 6 months ago?
Seriously?
Was it 5 months?
I
January.
don't know.
Maybe it was
Are you
January?
talking? So you're talking about the one that just happened?
Yeah, was that January?
I have no idea when it happened, but I thought you had been doing conventions a lot longer than just a few months.
No, it's just been like, yeah, I know. That's why I was like, oh my gosh. Like, okay, well, obviously, this is part of the answer, but so it started with SD Rocket Con. Then I got invited to, I think it was WonderCon, and I was crying because I was like, holy crap, that was like a jump. And then so I guess like I've been getting a lot of no's all of this journey. It's been like many years, of course, and hard work of like building the portfolio and like my like teaching myself like I don't know if you've heard of schoolism online. So like I've been doing some of those like little courses to like really learn Photoshop and better the skills. So I guess it's working because people, it's starting to translate in the art, like the digital art. Yeah, so it was WonderCon, and then SD Comic Fest. That's where I met you. And yeah, now it's gonna be Comic Con. So no, I
That's
just did. It's only been a few months.
that is a hell of a deep dive to go from Rocket Con as being your first con just a few months ago to Comic Con.
I know. It's a blessing. Like I'm really grateful actually, because I know a lot of people have been waitlisted from COVID from 2020. So I really a lot of my artist friends that are going told me like it was useless, like oh like don't even try. And I was like okay. And then in the background I was like fluffy words, email. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of, I'm not scared of rejection anymore. So just shoot the shot, That's kind of where my mentality has been this last like 6 months or so. Yeah.
And where is your table going to be?
It's gonna be in Artist Alley, and it's FF10, I think. I'm like, it was pretty easy to, I was like, table 10, okay.
I was going to say Final Fantasy 10.
I know, I don't know what FF is. Maybe I'm like way in the back, like, crappy corner or something, like where nobody is. Table 10.
FFX then, right? That's
What's that?
No, 10 in Roman numerals is X, so it's FFX.
Oh, sorry, that like went over my head too. So.
I just try to think of any kind of like, not symbolism, but just things I can do with it to make a comic, because that's usually how I advertise on shit.
Oh yeah, you were doing a marketing thing?
Yeah.
Okay. No, you're right. That is kind of cool.
It'll be convenient when I'm walking around our side to find you.
I'll be next to the trash can in the back. You're like, this is FFX, eh?
As long as there's no nerds just trying to breathe on me or cough on me without covering their mouth.
Oh my god, I forgot. That's right. Yeah, you were Yeah, you were totally good that day.
Oh,
I think I was coughing on you.
I am still armed with my welding shield. I'm bringing it to every convention I'm going to. I don't think I'm gonna decorate it for Comic-Con. We'll see. I might. But Midsummer Scream, I'm definitely gonna make it spooky. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm gonna do, but I'm looking forward to that. Because you have the whole plastic shield and I can put stuff on it. I'm looking forward to that.
You're going to Comic-Con though, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll see you. I'll be in the janitor's closet. It's progressed there. I guess I'm getting shoved further and further.
I like, yeah, you are in your mind, you keep shoving it somewhere scarier. You're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be in Crime Alley. There's gonna be just like
yeah. I can joke about my stuff. It's good.
No, but I'm really excited to see it Comic-Con. I'm really excited to see. I want more people to be aware of your artwork, and Comic-Con is a hell of a place to do it.
I know. I hope I don't get lost in the shuffle. Because I know that happens. So
I know a lot of people that go to Artist Alley though, because it's a nice place to find I mean, a lot of the big names, they don't even have a lot of comics there. So it's nice to see like the indie folks that you can actually talk to creators rather than companies that sell comics of someone else creating.
That's true. Yeah. No, because that's where I would always be, was Artist Alley. Because I've only been to Comic-Con as a guest like once or twice, because the special edition. My buddy, I don't know if you know him, Eric Arega. He does like really cool.
I thought did we meet at Comic Fest or?
Oh yeah, you met. He's trying to pull together a local coffee shop.
Nice. Oh yes, I did meet him. Meet him.
That guy. Yeah, he has some, like, he's been in Comic-Con for like since the beginning, I guess. I forgot where I was taking this.
We were talking about Artist Alley, and you were saying that you usually go.
So he was really cool. He got me a pass for, as a guest for special edition. So that was the only other time that I've only been to Comic-Con like once. So like, yeah. So I was talking to everybody, of course, and I was in Artist Alley because, like you said, it's like there's like not actual. You know what I mean? Like there's just different kinds of art styles, and you get to like you said, really connect with the actual artist. So it's cool. It was like, that's our people. I was like, you're an artist too. So yeah.
Artist Alley is usually where I'm going to go to spend money. I don't need
that's literally the only area I spent, like all the art on my walls here are other artists' art. It's not even my own.
The weirdest one is when one of my friends will see my art on their friend's wall, and they'll take a photo and send it to me, being like, "Oh, hey, I found Jimmy's art in the wild." I'm like, that's
whoa,
weird.
That's really cool. Do you have that like on your? That's kind of a cool. What am I trying to say? It's been a long day. That's like your MO, right? Like where you're it's like Jimmy's art in the wild, right? That's your little.
I don't know. I feel kind of creepy because I don't know if my friend's friend consented to just have a photo of their apartment taken, and I thought that'd be weird if I post a photo of an apartment I don't know in an album on my Facebook.
It would just be like a little segment on like your Instagram or something.
Oh, you're right. I should ask people
Yeah.
I should ask people to do the hashtag, and they themselves can post the photo and use the hashtag. Ooh.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I wonder what I could do with that.
A lot, because I'm sure there's tons of your art everywhere.
I'm looking for the day that someone's like, "Hey, I found your art in a porn." I'm like, "All right, that's awesome. Send me the screenshot. I want to save that."
I've had some of my friends post a picture of like my art when they hung it on their wall, which I think is really cool, or them holding it up in their house. So like that's why I was like, that should be a thing. Like all artists should have that like we should create like a hashtag for like artists to just like, yeah, like I don't know, that's kind of cool.
Facebook, I don't think they do it now. I don't think they do it anymore. But there was a really creepy feature on Facebook where Facebook will offer to tag you in photos that they think you're in.
Ooh.
And Facebook alerted me one time, and I was in a photo in some random person's Comic-Con photo album. Like someone was taking a photo of a cosplayer, and in the background, I'm walking. I'm like, that is me, but fuck that.
It's like where's Waldo? And you're like, isn't that a movie? There's a movie. There's so many sci-fi movies about that. Like we're being watched.
But it was so damn creepy because it was some random Xavier cosplayer, and I don't know the person.
If it was any other cosplayer, it would have been fine. But
yes, yes. If the character was dressed as Gomez Adams, I'd be down for being tagged in any Gomez Adams photo. What is your favorite piece of art that will be available for Comic-Con?
Okay, so that one was a tough one because I really love my angel demon one, the one that is on that giant banner that I think you were pointing out at SD Comic Fest, because that one means like it's really symbolic to me. Because I feel like everyone's kind of gone through that like depressed state at one point in their life. So I just kind of like that whole reaching out towards the light, but also again with the whole angel demon, lots of symbolism, trying to fill like an empty void. So like I mean, yeah, I guess we don't have the image in front of us right now to show it, but yeah, I kind of have the whole xenomorph like inspiration in there. So like that's one of my favorite ones, but I recently did that. I don't know if you saw it, the Synced with the Universe piece.
I don't remember seeing it. Did you post on Instagram?
Like alien angel that it's like super colorful.
I feel like I've seen it. I feel like I must have seen it because if it's on your Instagram, I'm on Instagram pretty hardcore. Yeah,
that's the only one I'm like able to keep up with for the art because like there's too many platforms. I'm like, Dad, no tech. I don't have time for that. I gotta be doing art.
It's so frustrating if you don't have the money to get someone to market you. It's frustrating as an artist to have to be the market to market yourself because all you want to do is create art, but now you have to post it on every social media.
Yep. Yeah, so that's not fun. But no, the piece itself, you probably have seen it because it's when I had the Comic-Con, like I'm going to Comic-Con and I used that photo.
Then I must have seen it.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, well, that one's also a really fun one. So when you figure it out, or if people watching this figure it out, it's that's one of my favorite ones right now because I used an explosion of color to like depict emotion, and it's basically again bringing the science, like the universe, but also there's like an element of spirituality kind of played around with that, and it's kind of a trippy piece, I guess you could say.
And it's on your Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of which, what is your Instagram?
Yes. So speaking of marketing, I thought I was cool and I was like, oh, this is gonna stick. This is a great marketing Instagram. And then turns out nobody can like spell it right because it's tricky. It's artist stash. So like there's ST, and everyone always messes that up. But I thought it was like, oh, artist like mustache. So like stash. But anyway, that was when the like mustache, like it's a long story, but I don't know, is there a way to like write it somewhere, or are you going to write it later?
You mean the artist stash? We'll post it with the link with the description. There'll be a link to your Instagram. But you can make up a story.
Everyone always misspells it, and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't good marketing. Fail.
You can make up a story of why you're called Artist Stash.
I wouldn't be making it up. There's an actual story.
I know there's an actual story. You actually, when I asked you for the story, you deprived me the whole weekend of the story. It was finally like at the last day that you were willing to tell me. But I'm saying for this.
Do you remember?
I remember it. I'm just saying for like the people listening, if you don't want to tell the story, you can make something up.
Oh my gosh. No, I was just making you wait, Jimmy. That's why. I didn't want to make it too easy for you. No, it had to do with my car scene. The car crew name was Lady Stash, and it kind of stuck because of an ex. So we don't need to know about that, but I just really liked it because it's like it was around the time when mustaches were like trending. Like so I don't know if you remember, everyone had like mustache like stickers, like mustache everything. Like everything.
Oh,
mustaches.
okay. Yeah, I do remember that time period where people even like there was a lot of wedding photos with like a fake mustache.
Yeah, or like the tattoo. Everyone had the tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it was around that era, that time. But no, they would call me Lady Stash because again, the ex had a similar stash, tag name or whatever. And I just really liked it because my dad was really an inspiration in my life. So I feel like me being a tomboy, I was like, oh, Lady Stash. It only like works that I'm a tomboy, and it's cool. So that was my car crew name. And then I kind of just, everyone knew me like, oh, hey, Lady Stash. Like when you'd be walking around these car meets and it's kind of like high school, you think you're cool. You stand next to your car and you think you're cool. Yeah, so that's why I just kind of extended it into the like, oh, I'm going to be artist stash. And it sounds like it's like a stash of art, like my art chest or something. I don't know. This is getting weird, I guess. I don't know. But that's basically, to make a long story longer.
We're doing a podcast conversation. Making that long story longer is fantastic.
I'm like, I can talk to a brick wall. So I mean.
I like it that the car shows you're staying next to your car and you think you look cool. I've never felt cool next to my car.
Well, you haven't seen my car. It is cool.
Are there not photos on your Instagram? Because I thought I've seen. I thought. Well, I don't know. Fuck.
They're on my Lady Stash one. Yeah.
Gotcha. And you're talking about the car that you have now, not your first car, right? Because you said you still have your first car.
Oh, it's the same car. Yeah, I daily it. So it's 1991 240SX S13.
I feel like you could make up numbers.
That's me driving fast, like angry, I guess. I don't know.
Gotcha. I
Or I was beating my dog. I don't know.
That's your stick shift that you're pretending to.
Yeah.
That could have been so weird if it wasn't. But yeah, I think it's funny that you're saying that one of the adjectives that people use when talking about cars, good-looking cars, clean-looking cars, is wet. And I'm like, I think sticky would be the word I use for my car.
I don't know if I should. Maybe we won't elaborate on what that means.
It's just gross. I don't know. I
yeah,
don't
exactly.
Care about my car.
I was like sticky.
I don't care about my car.
Hold on, too many stories in the back seat. I don't want to take it there.
No, my car's actually clean inside because I don't eat. It's just there's a lot of comic stuff. There's a lot of art stuff that I just don't clean out. But it's pretty.
You know what I was referring to, right? Please.
I think so.
Okay, I was like,
it's not gross. It's not gross inside. It's just on the exterior. I don't wash it.
Okay.
I don't wash my car. There's just a lot of dust and shit.
I mean, mine looks like that right now too. So I'm not even gonna lie. I'm still a chick.
So your car's not wet right now?
Right now, no. It is covered in brake dust, daily dust. Yeah.
And once we get into fire season, ash.
Yeah, like I still have a day job, so that's the long commute.
I think fire season.
For not much longer though.
Not much longer. That's good to know.
Hopefully, we'll see. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to make this the full-time thing.
Aw, but
you know the struggle. You know it.
Yeah, no, I do. I work at a warehouse. I've been at the warehouse for a long time. But it is a good steady amount of money, and I think it's also the best way for me to keep exercising because I work doing manual labor and I get paid to do it. So
yep, there's your workout. I'm a dog groomer. I think I told you that. So like that's the same for me. It's like I'm kind of doing art because I'm sculpting. But it's also I'm getting the workout because I'm like holding this, giant dog up. I've got some like pretty big biceps, I'd say.
Do they let you be creative with your sculpting? Because I never thought, is it like Edward Scissorhands kind of sculpting? Like you shave a dog's head into whatever.
Well, you should understand because it's like, how a pencil is an extension of your hand. So like, the scissors, like it's, I don't know. It is like sculpting. There's art, an artist eye required for it. A steady hand. You don't want to chop an eyeball or anything. So
I just I don't have pets, and the idea of pet grooming, I've never actually seen pets get groomed, so I don't even know what goes into it.
Oh, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It's a lot of work. It really is. And I always love it when clients like come in and they have like a really choppy, like chopped up, not a chopped up dog, but I mean the fur is really messed up. And then they're like, oh, I tried it at home and can you fix it? And I love those because I'm like, yes, I can fix it. And also now you know what we go through. So no, it's a lot of work. But I think I was trying to be a veterinarian. So like I have a lot of I love animals. So yeah, there's that. It helps.
I think it's a valuable lesson to learn for pet owners to try the haircut. And you're like, oh shit, cutting hair is actually a lot more work.
Well, especially on a subject that doesn't want to sit there.
I think that a lot of people also feel very confident about cutting their own hair. It's like, oh, it's just scissors. And it's like, no.
They always, for whatever reason, everyone always goes across. And you're like, no, that's not how you, like, especially on a dog too. It's like, what are you doing?
I saw one person who cut their hair and they thought they were really proud of it. But it went in an incline that went up near the back of the head. Like the head ended with a point in the back. And I'm like, that's impressive, but not
you're like, how did you do that actually? So were you calling him Conehead or like what?
I should have.
You're like, that was a missed opportunity.
I'm not a fan of theirs, so I try not to start conversation.
Oh, okay. Fair.
It's one of those friends on social media.
Oh, okay.
It's funny because like I'm trying to remember because my last question is a funny question and I'm trying to remember exactly why I did it, and I think it's it
threw me off actually. I actually started reading it out loud to my coworkers. I was like, oh,
why?
I said like Rick and Morty, and then as I was reading it further, I was like, I'm not gonna finish reading out loud.
Oh, the reason why I asked you is because I know you're a Rick and Morty fan.
Yeah. I mean, so it took me off guard because it's like Rick and Morty, and then I was like, whoa, what? This is so out of left field.
No, I thought it's pretty appropriate for the Rick and Morty show.
Yeah, actually it is, but it was just like you were like, what's your art history? What's your, what's your name? And then all of a sudden it was like, go ahead, you can ask the question, I guess.
I will, but it's not that out of nowhere for this podcast. I have asked questions similar. If Rick and Morty went to a dimension or a planet that's just filled with cat people, who would want to get laid? Who's going to get laid in this cat planet?
So it's funny. First, I talked a bunch of crap about this, right? Because I was like, whoa, what? My friend just like threw this out of left field. But I was like, what? And what? Like, how did you come up with that? Like a cat world and who wants to get laid? Like,
I think the reason why because I don't have the internet right now with me, but I think that this episode's going to come out on like International like Cat Day or some shit.
Oh my God, that's actually pretty smart. Okay.
There's a reason why it's Cat Day. I just can't look it up right now.
Okay.
But it's but that's what I came up with because I was trying to think of some Rick and Morty thing because they do have a Pickle Rick print that's with you, and I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan, and so when I was thinking of this question, I was like, I think it's a pretty decent question because you can either have Morty who is nervous and just wants any kind of female, that any kind of woman that he meets, he wants to woo, because like there was that one the Purge planet where he just meets
Yeah.
almost victim and wants to save her. Or you have Rick, who just wants sex with everyone. Who do you think would be? What if they're the creepy cats from the Broadway play?
Oh, it's funny because then I was like, what a fucking weird question, right? And I was all like, oh, and, you know, and I'm like, Jimmy, right? And then I started thinking about it, and then I think I came up with an even weirder like plot twist. Because then I was like, okay, actually, I really thought about it, and I was like, okay, Rick, because he's like kind of the grime ball, right? So like I was like, I'm thinking like Rick, Pickle Rick, you know, like he, or like some sort of like he goes to this cat dimension, and then you know how there's a viral cat videos that are scared of cucumbers. So I kind of was like, hey, there you go. I was like, fucking, you know, it's Rick, and like, you know, then they're fighting, all of a sudden they're fighting cucumbers off, and he saves the, you know, the hottest feline from these, you know, cucumbers. So like a cucumber invasion. I just went off, and I was like, okay, I guess this was a good question for me.
This is a damn good plot.
That was a good damn, yeah, right? I was like, you better not steal this. Now everyone's gonna steal this idea.
It's funny because you did bash the question, but I think that you answered it perfectly.
Right? My coworkers were like, wow, that actually is a really good, like, you know, I'd watch that episode.
Do you know what I mean? I think it's an appropriate question for Rick and Morty. The cartoon is vulgar as hell. I think the question stands. I think the question can be asked about that show.
Yeah, but yeah, so there you go. There's the answer.
Fantastic.
And copyright, hold on. You're gonna do one of those little things in the corner here. Copyright, Priscilla Bree.
I'm not gonna copyright your plot for Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty has the copyright on Rick and Morty.
well, there you go. Okay, maybe they're gonna hire me now. If they're watching.
Cool. I will make sure if anyone who works on Rick and Morty is listening to this, yeah, definitely hire Priscilla to write your episodes, because she was able to. Because you got the questions a few days ago and was able to come up with a whole plot for it. So
okay, I'm not gonna lie, Jimmy. I read it at the end of my shift at work. Like I was answering like, so if anything, it was within the last, like, you know, 5 hours. So I'm giving myself credit, but also kind of dissing you, but
I appreciate
what you want with that.
I appreciate you making your coworkers feel weird when you read it out loud. That's
they definitely know. They already know every day I walk in.
What words of advice would you give anyone who is looking into because like you're very new to the convention scene? What advice would you give to someone who wants to enter the convention scene?
Who wants to get into it?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it has to do, this sounds really lame because usually I'm a little more like tough than this, but I think what really helped me was actually doing more like inner self-work first, because I think I was holding myself back a lot from like in the past. And I think that's why it's blown up so quickly, like within the last 6 months, because I decided one day that I'm like, no, this is what I want. So just knowing like the target like really makes a difference. And just like, I journal every morning. So like just making sure like you're doing little steps every day to like make sure like you're applying yourself and getting there. So like, I know just actually applying, that's the hardest part, that's the scariest part, is sending the actual application out and the emails to do the follow-ups. That definitely has gotten me in. So if people want to do that, like you just got to send it. That's also a car enthusiast reference. So I'm sure that slipped you, Jimmy. So.